Hello, my name is Philip Lowndes. I'm a consultant for Boldesign and I'm here today to discuss the difference between wet air venting and traditional venting. Here's traditional venting. Kiln, the wood, fan deck, baffles, fan, element. Vents, generally there, sometimes here. Your airflow comes in through here, builds up energy through the element, and immediately wastes energy by going straight out there. The rest is directed down into a concentrated area here to push it through the lumber, and that's how traditional venting works. Now to talk about wet air venting, originally invented and patented by Boldesign. We have the kiln, the lumber, fan deck, baffles. Venting is powered venting. Your airflow goes this way, with air coming through the vent here and then forcing the air through the wood, where you get a buildup of moisture here, and the moisture is vented out this way. Much more efficient. This then gives you a considerable saving over your traditional venting. We're talking about the traditional drying cycle. This was set in place in 1917 and has not really been changed since. So basically you have step one. You set dry bulb and wet bulb temperature. Typically the heat, the venting and the spray are set automatically. Step two. Typically you increase the dry bulb temperature and the wet bulb depression until you meet the maximum. Step three, once you reach the maximum dry bulb temperature and wet bulb depression, you hold that until the lumber is dry. Here we have a piece of wood. Here's your shell, here's your core. Traditionally, the EMC of a piece of wood, when you're drying it, the shell tries to come as quickly as possible to equilibrium moisture content. So you're drying traditionally, and the way this is designed is to dry from the outside in. The results of this are that the shell tries to shrink, and of course the core cannot shrink. So therefore creating an awful lot of stress across the cross-section of the wood. Be aware that stress causes every drying problem apart from stain. The actual kiln manual describes how the wood is designed to dry from the outside in and the stress builds up within that wood. How can we solve this problem of the wood drying from the outside in? So now I'm going to introduce to you the dump rest cycle drying system. Step one is the heat cycle, where we're going to introduce energy into the full cross-section of the wood. Now let's talk about energy. What is energy? Energy is something that if it needs to move, it has to have energy. Step two, the dump cycle. The dump cycle is all about releasing the energy, turning all the heat and the spray off and opening the vents to release the energy from the atmosphere. Now, because the core of the wood has more stored energy than the atmosphere, this allows that energy to move from the core of the wood into the atmosphere and dissipate. So when the energy moves, it actually forces the moisture to move with it. Step three, the rest cycle. During the rest cycle, everything is off. Only the circulating fans are working. Vents are closed, everything else is off. The rest cycle is so important because it relieves stress and equalizes all at the same time. Traditional kilning, you only equalize once at the end of the cycle. The beauty of the dump rest cycle is you're equalizing multiple times within a 24-hour period, 12 to 15 times. During the rest cycle, the energy that is in the wood is released and is circulating in the kilns, increasing the wet and the dry bulb, even though you're not adding any more energy. In the traditional drying process, there is always energy trying to be put into the wood with no point of release. This is by and far the most efficient way to equalize the moisture content throughout the wood in that charge. Because the dump rest cycle is so efficient, most all people using it report a significant savings in energy during this process. Because of the efficiency of the rest dump cycle, it is noted that there is a huge reduction in cupping, checking, splitting, or any traditional defects that are normally in kilning. Additionally, when drying whitewoods, because of the efficiency of the dump rest cycle, the wood stays much cleaner and brighter. Because of everything I've explained, you'll find that the wood dries faster, safer, and more efficiently. Boldesigns can modify your kilns, your existing kilns, to accommodate the dump rest cycle.